You know what's quicker to shoot than a vlog? This. Let's talk about making things. Specifically, having the urge to make when you don't have anything to say. I feel like that's something I've done a lot. Years ago, I wanted to be a writer. I still do, but which is a fantastic medium for somebody with no money, right? All you need is a pen and a paper. And so I always found myself in the situation where I really wanted to make something. I really wanted to make something. And it was utterly painful for me to actually write, which is, it's weird, right? And from what I've read online, it's very common, the writer that doesn't write. I got a few things out eventually. The thing is, I found it's strange how you can want to do something so bad and, not want to do it at the same time. Creativity isn't fun. Honestly, it's just a pain in the ass. But life's better when you do it. Trust me, life's just better when you make things. Yeah, the thing that got me was I finally realized for a long time I didn't have anything to say. When I got something I want to say, the words just pour out. It just comes and comes and comes, and my hand can't write fast enough because I can't keep up with the thoughts in my head. It's remarkable. But if I don't have something to say, if I don't have something in mind, it's like pulling teeth. It really is. That and just starting, getting that first sentence. For the longest part of my writing career, I had trouble just getting the first sentence down because you can never find that perfect thing, that perfect introduction. At a certain point, I've instead of trying to hone the craft of the perfect first sentence, I started honing the craft of saying, fuck it, just get words down. And I'll say it is much better to be a bad writer than a writer that doesn't write at all. I'll gladly take that. Yeah. And so here we are today. I don't really have anything to say tonight. So we're going to talk about not having anything to say. Earlier today, I saw a writing quote on Tumblr that was something like, all writers have heard the old adage, write what you know. And what terrible advice that is. Can you think of anything more boring than a writer just writing only about what he knows? How many books do you want to read about a writer before you start saying, well, okay, a lot of these protagonists are writers. Right? Write about something else. I don't want to talk about creativity too much. In the past, I feel like I've done it. At a certain point, talking about creativity begins to feel as a way to procrastinate actually creating. For a long time, I would just read writing books, not really write. And it reminds me of this old saying I heard. Someone said, I don't know why I enjoy buying plastic Tupperware so much, or these plastic organizational tubs at Office Depot, but it feels great. And someone else said, that's because it gives you the illusion of being productive without actually doing anything. And it's the exact same thing with reading writing books for me. Every time I read a writing book, really, I should have just been writing, right? It felt like I was doing something writerly without doing the writing itself. And extending it beyond that, I sometimes feel like talking about creating can feel as a way to avoid creating. In a sense, that is kind of creating in its own way, in a meta sense. But if that's all you talk about, if that's all you do, that's not really, what creating are you talking about in the first place, right? Yeah. So I try not to talk about this topic too much because I don't want to just be a guy that only talks about creating. I want to, create. And yeah, it is, but it isn't. Point is, it's been a while since we've talked about creativity, so I felt like it's okay. But we're gonna try to stay away from this topic for a while after this. Let's make some cool internet shit.